up, 7.3 fans? Welcome back to another episode of the 7.3 Garage. Today, the engine goes in. We got my old man here, Gianni's here, Frankie is coming. So we're just getting a couple of last-minute odds and ends in and on the engine. So we'll go over there in just a second. Check out the last video that I posted so you're updated for the new stuff that's coming out. I've been going crazy with the videos, trying to keep everybody updated. So go ahead and check those out, but let's jump over to the engine. Here she is. I'm getting pretty excited. This is how, I think I showed everyone these, but I did two coats of clear on this, so I have to do a heating cycle once the engine's running, but I'm pretty happy with how they came out. They're not showroom quality, but just a little, something a little bit different. But the valve cover's on this side. We got this, the breather's on, siliconed. This is a homemade gasket that we made with a water pump gasket for actually like a giant Detroit diesel boat that I got from a friend who's a diesel mechanic. So Andrew, thank you for that. And here's just the driver's side. We are just cleaning up the last of the parts here. Some of the hardware, the oil dipstick hold down bolt. So we're gonna get these in and torqued. We got our eye bolts here, or eyelets if you will. These are in and just about ready to go. So we will get the camera set up when Frankie gets here, once we get this thing on the stand. And we have to install our flex plate and our spacer as well, and have to torque those while the engine is on the, while it's hanging in the air on the stand. So that'll be a little bit of a challenge. It always makes me a little nervous, but it is what it is. I don't like 800 pounds of cast iron bouncing around on a piece of chain, but it'll be fine. So it's basically ready to rock. This is the final stages here, so should be in today, and we'll keep going. So let's see what we got next. This is it. Both valve covers are on. We got the dipstick in place. Still, there's a few things that I need a refresher on, because I haven't touched this stuff for probably 2 or 3 months. So this took a second. I was putting bolts in here, and I'm trying to figure out why this wasn't getting tight, and then I soon realized that I needed the studs with the nuts on instead, and I had to switch places with these, but not a big deal. We are just still waiting on Frankie. He's still responding or en route here, so he'll be here hopefully shortly. We're gonna roll this out here, and we are gonna attach. Dad brought over some shackles. These should be just fine. We used the hooks last time, but if this thing's gonna be swinging around, I really would rather have a little bit of extra protection on there, so we find Frankie's trusty lift. This has pulled the engine out twice out of my truck. That we'll be going back in for the second time. We got our light here ready to go, so we'll have 4 guys here, which would be pretty awesome. So 2 can work the trans, because as many people know, or if you've never done this before, the hard part with getting these things out is a different story, but getting it back in is the motor mount spots here that sit on the subframe, or whatever you want to call this. You have to line up simultaneously the 2 studs on each side that go through here, and you have to line up the guide holes with the back of the engine onto the transmission. So we'll have to get the transmission's going to go on a jack stand, or excuse me, we'll take it off the jack stands and get a piece of 2x4 underneath on the pan. And while we do that simultaneously, we're going to jack up the transmission and kind of get it lined up. So just to refer, so everyone can see what I'm talking about here real quick. Here's my camera will cooperate. Here's our guides here. So there's 1 on each side. Here, Dad, hold up that flex plate real quick. I'll show you guys this flex plate. This is ATS Diesel's billet flex plate. This is an SFI rated racing flex plate. So this adds a lot of strength. I've seen people have said, oh, it's fine, just run the factory one. I've seen this entire circumflex. This entire circular part here has cracks in it all the way around. I've even seen one that's broken off. So if you think these engines, especially when they're modified, are making 1,200 plus foot-pounds of torque, that's a lot of pressure on a factory part. So it's a $700 flex plate. That I pay a lot of money for that, but there are companies. Diesel Site has one out now that's very, very inexpensive, and it works just as great. It's the same thing. It's billet. So try and get your hands on one of those. We are going to get this thing set up. We're going to get all the components here set up for the lift, and we will be right back. Okay, there she is. So kind of dicey here, just because the truck is so close to the front here. Oh, and Frankie is here, by the way. There he is. Frankie's here finally. Sorry for the wind noise if there's any. So the trick with this, and it has been some time since we did this, but as you can see, and I don't like this, but we have the stand rolled out onto the driveway here, and the back 2 wheels are off the ground. There are still wheels here in the middle, which is great for weight, but the problem was, or my concern was, I didn't want to have the wheels of the lift on the ground, or on the ground here, and then have to roll the engine back and have the entire unit take the shock of 750 or 800 pounds, or whatever that thing is right now, and possibly blow a seal out or hurt the actual hydraulic component of the lift. So we figured, and this is what we did last time, Frankie, you had to refresh my memory, was we left the hoist on here with the engine, and we simply are just going to slide it over. We got the wheels in the right direction, so we're just basically going to slide it instead of pulling it out, over, and then back on. Instead of doing like a V kind of thing, we're just going to slide it right over, so we avoid that jolt on there, because it's, if anyone's ever done this before, it is not a nice feeling, especially with something that weighs this much. So I just want to make sure. But we have our hardware in here, threw some nice bolts with nuts in there and a washer, just as some added safety, but I think we'll be just fine. So we got our lifting eyes ready to rock. These are here, and we're going to get this camera set up and try and do a quick time lapse of it going back in. So we'll see what that looks like. All right, we've done it.
Get me in the shot.
He's always in the shot, but here she is. It's been since September we took this out. We were reminiscing, but it has been since September that this engine is, well, this is not that engine, obviously. Oh, and there's Timmy. Hey. Timmy brought his large and in charge Cummins out here, so we'll have to take a look at that, but it's in. We have to still finish tightening up the motor mount bolt, or the motor mount nuts. It looks pretty awesome here. Pretty excited. The clearance for the downpipe is pretty awesome. We're going to try and get that, and we still have to get the nuts from the flex plate into the converter still. So we'll do that. Frankie's just working on tightening up the rest of the hardware for the transmission to the engine.
I'm down here.
We're going to get this stuff out. Let's get Frank in there. There he is. Light shining in his eyes. Still dirty from work. There we go. There he is.
All Frank.
It's all Frank.
Good,
Oh,
here,
dude, your
right?
face is like... is amazing on here. I love it. So we're gonna get some of this extra stuff cleared out and show everybody what's next.
There's nothing in this one, I don't think. All right, we gotta roll it.
Supervision provided by Brandon.
Here we are. I'm supervising.
You staring at over
We're
here?
out here doing it. Just analyzing my work. Gotta remember to take this off. That's where the ICP sensor goes. That's important. If we don't have that for there, she ain't gonna run, and I'll be scratching my head why.
None of these are going to be
Just a simple thing, but trying to assist Frankie. Frankie's the star of the show right now, so we're just working on getting him dialed in. I like that. Dialed in has been my go-to phrase lately.
Yeah,
with
getting
this-
dialed.
with this whole operation here.
Hey, you want to like turn that down?
Yes, tell me when, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, we weren't done talking.
Yeah, we were having a full-blown conversation over here, but all right, you ready?
Go ahead.
Tell me when.
Keep going. Just.
Hold on for a second.
Hold it down for a second.
All right, that one has no hole, right?
Yeah, no, definitely no.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, bud.
Good, all right, here we
Keep
go.
going.
Tell me when.
And this one's got no hole, so the rest of them should have one. All right, keep going.
This thing's clanking and banging when it starts.
All right,
up.
stop.
I know who to go look for.
Want to give me a couple that can help you? Let me see what this
That
is.
one doesn't have one.
It doesn't? Okay.
So we got.
I should just make a whole front clip. You know, like the race trucks have, and just pull the entire thing off. Because working on it like this is 10 times better than having to lean in.
I know.
And run good.
I mean, 8
Good.
holes.
Yeah.
So that's the plan for tonight.
That's
They're gonna get a little turnover on
We're
it.
gonna do.
Grade 8 too.
We still gotta torque this down because that wasn't tight. I'm gonna try and fit the downpipe and get the dipstick in for the transmission. The nice new Suncoast dipstick that the old man got me for the old 26th birthday. Look at that. Check that out, huh?
Ooh.
She's fresh. I showed that in one of the other videos, but there she is. Nice billet aluminum.
Man, For
Suncoast.
those of you who didn't see the last video, check it out.
Suncoast. We fit it. It's pretty nice.
Wow, that is sweet.
That is pretty sweet, huh? This actually may even be a little bit too much, but I like to have enough on here because I've had a lot of bad experiences with harmonic balancers in the past. Kind of just get it on there nice and gingerly here. Make sure you have a good spread so that way when you torque this thing down, it seals up really well. May even take a little bit off there. Get this cleaned up. This stuff will go everywhere too if you don't. If you aren't too nice with it, so I'm gonna take a little excess, a little more. It's not too much. I just don't want it to leak. All right, so get that all wiped up. All right, so this is ready to rock. Then what we'll do is we'll place this, get our thread sealer. All right, this is kind of a dicey operation. So kind of just get on all your threads here, like so.
Oh yeah.
There we go. All right, Pops, I'm gonna start threading this thing in here.
Go ahead.
All right, so start threading. We'll get the excess off in just a second. It's important to do this and torque it right away. You don't want to be fiddling around with something else while you do this, especially with that silicone. You want to get that to set up and let it sit. I'd say a good 24 hours to let that get all nice and dry, like that's a phrase. It is now. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm. So again, this is 212 foot-pounds of torque, so this is going to be pretty tight here. And this is a deep 15th, 16th, 12-point socket. It's always a good thing. We like 12 points. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Get the angle. Good?
Yeah.
Here it comes. Let me give it the sauce now. Let me get another turn on her. Ready? Ready?
Go ahead.
I got something to push on. Okay, there it is. There's your 212. We'll get this wiped up.
Like you got it?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Out.
Get this cleaned up nice. This really will, if you do this right, especially if you have to service this at any point in time, if you have a truck or if you have a 7.3 like this, try to do this at night or when the engine's cool. You don't want to be doing it when it's hot. It kind of prolongs the drying process, but definitely let this sit. I wouldn't put this on and then start driving around. I would at least give it at least overnight to get it hardened up. But at max, I'd say 24 hours is going to be your best bet, because if that stuff doesn't get hard, it's going to, or firmed up, it starts to leak everywhere. So what else we got to do? We got to do the fuel lines, which will take no time. I definitely want to fit that downpipe and get the dipstick in, so we'll get to that in a second.
So what's the point in having this
So
dual piece action here?
the deal with these are,
Because you would think you would install it, it'd be
Right.
to help you install. You put one in and you put the second one,
Right.
but it looks like you're gonna install it all as one piece anyway. So why not just make it like that?
exactly. So here's the problem with the OBS trucks as opposed to a Super Duty. You obviously have to fight the firewall. So I pushed my firewall back about an inch
Okay.
with my dad. So we actually have a lot of room in there. I think you see Frankie down there.
Oh, I'm right here.
So
All right, look at him.
So, Super Duties, I may be mistaken, but I think they just utilize a single. So with the downpipe with the OBS trucks, it fits. It's a really tight fit. Anybody who's ever tried to mess with downpipes on these knows that it's the worst. So, all right, Frank, I'm ready for that. So we're gonna try and simultaneously have Frankie push up on the exhaust, and we're gonna try to get this.
So
in
that's
the
the
same time.
biggest downpipe you can
This
pretty
is-
much put on this.
yeah, I
thing.
think this
You
is
can't
it.
fit anything else unless you do some cab modifications or
Yeah,
something like that.
I think they even make a 4-inch, but this is a 3-inch, and fitting this is already a pain as it is. All right, Frank, I'm ready.
So don't do a 4-inch.
I wouldn't do a 4-inch. Deal with a 3 first, and then see how you feel, because this is not fun.
Let's go.
You ready to go? Okay.
Is the stock one like a 2.5 or something? Or?
Dude, the stock one that comes on the trucks, it's like a pancake. You got to see it. It's impressive.
Actually, you know what? Yeah.
You've seen one, right? Your buddy's got one. Oh yeah. Okay, I just got to drop. Hold on. I got NICs. Remember I said about NICs? It goes everywhere.
Dude, I saw this meme about NICs.
The guys. It looks like the Tin Man.
What was the Tin Man like?
Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, did I send it to you, or did you see it?
No, I've seen it though.
Dude,
It's
that was
impressive.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was
Okay.
gonna tag you in it because I know you love that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Except it should have been copper. It should have been copper because he loved the copper.
Yeah.
What?
You all right, Frankie?
Dude, that's in there.
That's all the way buried, huh?
You can't go any further.
Oh, yee!
So what was the point in making that a 2-piece deal?
So here, well,
Just a
this
twist.
this fits way better. So here's what we're gonna do, gents. Now that we have this, I'm gonna give you the clamp, Frank. This is 9/16. I'm gonna get the turbo with the nuts, test fit it, so I can get the angle, and I'll let you clamp it. So
What size turbos you got?
this is a 369 SXE from Borg Warner. Everyone has seen this in the last video, but the deal is right now that I'm trying to do is well, you know what? It's probably fine with this one because this one's just going to make me angry right now. So basically what we're doing is test fitting the downpipe so we can get the angle and Frankie can throw the clamp on it. So everybody has now left. This is what we are left with after all the hard work. I really wouldn't be able to get this thing in without all the help of everybody that was here today. Frank, Gianni, my dad's been really putting a lot of time in here. Frankie as well. That's actually Frankie's lip. That's not mine. So Frankie, dude, you're the man. He knows it. Really helped me out. I really appreciate all the time and help. And he's been over here a lot. My dad's been over here almost every day this week helping me out. So very, very thankful for that. It's always a good learning experience. I really like doing this. If someone's never done this before, and is looking forward to doing it, seriously, not to get mushy, it's a really fun experience. You get to share a lot of good times with your friends and create some memories. So this is something that I enjoy doing, and I'm very, very happy with the result. The engine looks awesome sitting in there. So I have to work tomorrow, but I will be home Friday morning around 8 o'clock. So I will start getting this thing buttoned back up. I'm going to get a lot of the little odds and ends here. I'm going to get the wiring harness back on. What else? All this stuff's going to come back over here. I got to get the front core supports got to come on. I have to go buy coolant. And we got this fitted. Finally, I got to get the dipstick in for the transmission. The turbo's got to go on actually, basically, it's actually ready to go on now. It would be probably okay to get on. So we'll get that on. The engine still needs oil in it. We got that handled. Hope everybody saw pretty clearly how to do that. So we got the front crank snout bolt is handled. Everything else is basically ready to go. Just got to get the fluids in it and get it hooked back up to power. My dad's charging my batteries at their house, so those will be ready to go. And just wipe down things as I go, and she will be, oh man, this is a lot sooner than I thought we were going to be done with this thing. So I'm actually hoping, maybe Saturday, have this thing ready to turn the key. It's got fuel in it. It's ready to go. So Saturday would be awesome. I think that may be the day. I have a commitment Saturday night. I have a work party to go to, so for the holidays. But I should be able to have this thing running by hopefully late morning, early afternoon. I would really, really love to be in that position to get this thing ready to go and try to get some videos out then, and maybe even on Sunday. If not, I have the weekend and Monday off. So I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So in those next 3 days, I should be able to get this thing back to where it needs to be. As always, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Really, really appreciate all of the love and support. It really means a lot. Thank you for all the questions. I like interacting with everybody, so keep them coming. Really enjoy that. Check this out. It's a sight to be seen. Engine with no stamp. My brand. I've been working on this thing for 6 hours today, so we have an engine stand with no engine on it. So that is a huge, huge accomplishment. Very, very happy to be where I am right now in this whole process. So please keep your eyes and ears peeled for some new content coming out. I'll be posting some more stuff on my Instagram page. So if you're not following me, go ahead and follow and check out some of the stuff that I got going on there. I post pretty frequently, so stay tuned for that. And just bear with us. End of the week's coming around the corner, so this thing should be ready by this weekend. Fingers crossed. So that's all I got. My name is Brandon. This is the 7-3 Garage. We will see you next time.